All right, I've hit start stream. I'm now going to go into the webinar and hit go live. We are live. You should be able to see me and hear me. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. And this is very important actually, because way back when we did our first webinars, we didn't ask anyone if they could see us and hear us. And we started presenting and we found out that no one was there and watching us. So let me know if you can see me, you can hear me. And also I just want to give a shout out to Cameron, who is in the chat. Unfortunately, Cameron isn't feeling well today, so he's working from home. So everyone give him some love in the chat, but I am Jess from Teachable. Very excited to be here. Great, you guys can see me, you can hear me. Now I would also, Walter's like, where's Cam? He's working from home. So let me know also where you're tuning in from. And this is actually very important because we get probably someone from every continent on these webinars. The only exception is Antarctica. So if you are in the research center, let me know. But seeing here, I can hear you and see you from the Bay Area, California. Very nice. I am in New York City. It's a little bit cooler. We had a bit of a heat wave. We've got Calgary, Canada, fellow Canuck. South Florida, Michigan, USA, Maine, San Diego, Netherlands, Baltimore, France, bonjour, Santa Fe, Nova Scotia. Okay, so as you can see, we've got people from all over the world. I'm very excited to be here and presenting this workshop. Now, I think we're just going to jump into it. I've got a lot of great content. Jen says, Lisa, we're in Nova Scotia. Gotcha. All right, I'm going to switch my screen. You should see a beautiful website. I might be slightly biased. And finally, you should see one familiar face. Cameron there below me, he is working from home, like I said. So, yes. All right, so let's just dive into this. So welcome to today's workshop. Now, the official title is the 7 Steps to Launching Your Own Profitable Online Course. But this is probably one of my favorite workshops to present because I'm not just going to be saying things that I think you could do or that I think sound good. At Teachable, we have a bit of an unfair advantage because we have access to so much data. So we have seen what works, what doesn't, and trends that are happening in this whole online course world. And we've correlated all of that information into this workshop. So when you leave here, you're going to have everything that you need to be successful. And this is going to be perfect for you if you're a blogger, a creative, a freelancer, or maybe you're looking to grow your audience and your credibility, or maybe you just want to grow your business and help a lot of people and really make an impact. Now, if you already have a school in Teachable, type what it is in the chat. Type what it is into the chat. And if not, I would love to know what ideas you have, or if there's just a topic you're passionate about, what does that look like? Type it into the chat. And as you're doing that, my big promise to you is that in the next 60 minutes, you're going to walk away with a personalized roadmap to launching your own profitable online course. So I am giving you everything you need. I will not be holding any information back. So by the end of this workshop, you'll be able to implement it and get results. But because of that, and because we have only a limited amount of time, promise me that you are going to take notes. And I've done this at so many conferences, and maybe you've done this too, but I'll go to an event and I'll get a lot of value, but I won't take notes. And then as soon as I leave, it's like my mind goes blank. It's like I was never in the room and I forget everything. So don't be like me. Please promise me you're taking notes or even just taking screenshots of the slides. Okay, so let's first off start by talking about why online courses. Maybe you have seen people use them in their business, or there's just a topic you're very passionate about. And I guess the best way to explain it is with a short story. So a few years ago, I was actually working as a web designer, and all of my work was one-on-one with clients. Now, type into the chat if you are here now, you're doing a lot of one-on-one work, or you can relate to this. So that's what I was doing. And one year it was my grandma's 90th birthday. And all my friends and family decided that we were going to fly back home to Canada and throw this massive surprise party for her. So that's what we do. It gets to the morning of her birthday, and I really quickly just check my emails. And I got one of the most dreaded emails I think anyone doing one-on-one work can get, which is I had a client that said, "Hey Jess, we love our website, but there's a couple of small changes that we want done ASAP." And my stomach dropped when I read that, because we all know what that means. There's no such thing as small changes, and I was stuck at home feeling so overwhelmed, so frustrated, while the rest of my friends and family were essentially partying it up with my 90-year-old grandma. And that was the pivotal moment for me when I realized that, look, your time is valuable, but it's also limited. And that's when I started to transition into online courses and started using them, because there's so many reasons why they are so impactful and why so many people are starting to do them. And reason number one, I mean, there's several, but you can make extra money. We've seen people make an extra $1,000, even replace their full-time income just with their online course. And what I want to know is, what is your monthly goal with your course? Type into the chat, type A if it's 500 to 1K, B 1K to 3K, all the way up to E 10K plus per month. And I'm not just asking this just so you guys type something into the chat. I want you to really actually think about this and remember that number, because I'm going to show you in a later step how to work backwards to achieving that. But type it into the chat and let me know. And really, look, of course, everyone would love to make over $10,000 a month on their first course sale. But I think even if you were to make an extra $500 of income that you did not have before, that could be pretty meaningful. And I'm looking in the chat here. I'm seeing Glenn says C, Linda says B, Christine says D. Oh, quite a few D's today. Sasha says 5K to 10K. Lisa says, well, hey, I'm shooting for the moon, $10,000 per month. This is great. Okay, so really keep in mind what that number is, because it's important to know what your goals are, because then you can work backwards to figure out what do you actually need in place to achieve that realistically. Reason number two, you do the hard work up front, but then your course becomes an asset. Now, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme in any means. There's work involved, there's time involved to creating your course, but because it's a digital product, that means that you don't need to keep recreating it or reproducing it every single time you want to sell a copy. And because of that, courses are extremely high leverage. Reason number three, you become this mini celebrity in your space. But look, no, you will probably not become Zoolander famous, and the paparazzi probably will not be following you around. But what's interesting is that when you create courses and you start growing a community around you, it really does increase your credibility, and you've got a bunch of people that have really interacted and gotten value from your work. And we need an example, actually. This lovely woman right here, her name is Jessica Sprague. Get this. She has 80,000 students in all of her courses. Now, let's really put this in perspective, because I think with the internet, it's easy just to see a big number and think, yeah, that's fine. That's the equivalent of her standing in the middle of the stadium for my fellow Canucks. That is the Vancouver 2010 Olympics ceremonies. There is 80,000 people in this photo that fit in the stadium. So that's like her standing in the middle of that, right on that stage, and that entire crowd of people not just know who she is, but she has had some form of an impact on their life just from her courses. And if you're wondering what her courses are, she teaches digital scrapbooking and Photoshop skills, which is pretty interesting. Reason number four, you get off the content hamster wheel. And that comes a lot with blogging and YouTube and podcasting and different forms of content creation. Now, I want to say, those are very important things as you're building your business and your brand. I'm not saying that you should no longer do those things, but if you want to create consistent and more sustainable income, online courses are definitely a much more effective way of doing it. And then the fifth reason, you help more people. Because now you're no longer restricted to how many hours there are in a day, so you can help hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people just from your course. So I want to know, out of the last 5 benefits, which is the most exciting for you? Which is the one where you were like, this is why I'm here. This is why I really want to start doing online courses. What was the one that really lit you up when you heard it? Type into the chat. And I love, Lisa says, people in my small town just think I'm weird, lol. Lisa, I come from a small town too, so I can relate, but it's good to have big dreams, big goals. Great, so type into the chat, and as you're doing that, maybe you care, maybe you don't, but I'm Jessica Tor, and I lead partnerships here at Teachable, and we've had over 20,000 people that have created well over 30,000 online courses. And unfortunately, my webinar partner here is not present, but Cameron is in the chat. Again, everyone say hi to Cameron. He's not feeling well, but he is head of sales, and he helps everyone from individual entrepreneurs to our large businesses get started on Teachable. And I know he'll be helping out in the chat. And as I was saying, as a team, we have watched well over 20,000 course launches. And this is important because we have access to hard data for online courses and launches. We've interviewed our top instructors, we've picked their brains, we've solved their support issues, and we have really seen what works and, well, what doesn't. And we've come to one pretty incredible conclusion, which is this. Out of over 10,000 active teachers, the most successful ones have all been using the same 7-step process. And guess what, my friends? That's exactly what I'm going to give you today. I'm going to walk through the entire 7-step process. So give me some energy in the chat. Let me know if you're ready for this, because here it is. Now, I would take a screenshot of this because this is everything that you need. Let's start with step 1, finding your most profitable course idea. Okay, so there's normally 3 categories of people, and I want you to pay very close attention to which one you think you fall under and type into the chat 1, 2, or 3. And it's so nice to see everyone saying, yes, ready, yay. Great. Okay, so type 1, if you're excited, but you have no idea what you want your course to be about and you just don't know where to start. Type 2, if maybe you have an idea for what you want your course to be about, but now you just need help refining and tweaking that idea. And type 3, if you have a ton of ideas for courses, but you just need to figure out, okay, which is going to be the most profitable? Type into the chat, and seen here, is it Yeva? I hope I said your name right. Is 2. Michael says 2. So there's a good mix of 2s and 3s. No 1s really. Interesting. Okay, so I want to share with you one of our instructors. Her name is Angela Fair. She started off making around $2,000 a month. She's now making up to $8,000 from her course sales. But the reason why I'm sharing you her as an example is because her courses are in watercolor painting. And I don't know about you, but before I ever created my first online course, I definitely thought that in order to be successful, I had to teach people how to make money, or no one would pay money for an online course. And the truth is that that is not the case. There's thousands and thousands of possible course topics. Things like watercolor painting, like I was saying, practical cartooning for technical folks. One of my personal favorites. Get this, guys. Deborah Neiman has over 1,500 students in her course. The topic, copper deficiency in goats. That is a real course. Those are real students. So I'm telling you, there is a topic for everyone. But let's come back down to you and figuring out what your profitable course idea is going to be. So I want us to workshop this together. Start typing to the chat as ideas are coming in. But I want you to really hone in and think, what is it that you are good at or passionate about? What are you already interested in? Are there things that you've done, skills, jobs that you've had? And this question, I always find it very cliche. It's like, of course, like, what am I passionate about? But I want you to change the way that you look at this question and think of it like, what is the thing that you seem to always talk about over and over again? Or someone brings this topic or conversation up and you just light up and you cannot wait to give your 2 cents about the topic. Or what do people ask you for advice for all the time? So really start to think about that. And as you are, and as you're typing this into the chat, I know there's a thought that's going to come up, and I really want to debunk this myth. You might be thinking, okay, Jess, there's a lot of things that I'm excited about, but I don't think there's any ideas where I'm enough of an expert that I can actually sell an online course on this. And let me know if that is you, because I totally relate to this feeling. I think another way of describing it is imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to be teaching this? Let me know who here feels like this, because you shouldn't. And I mean, like, we decided to see, first off, what does expert actually mean? Because I think it's one of those those words rather, that everyone has their own meaning attached to it. But the dictionary definition is having or showing a special skill or knowledge because of what you have been taught or experienced. Key point in that, what you have been taught or experienced. It does not say you are the world's number one most knowledgeable expert in a specific topic. And this is actually very important. Now, type into the chat, who here has ever had a teacher in school that was very good at doing something, maybe not the best at teaching it? I know I definitely did. I had a math teacher one year, and he was quite literally a genius. But the problem is that when I would ask for help, even his explanations were still way too far advanced for me to grasp the concept. So what I soon found was that if I turned to my friend who was just 2 steps ahead of me, I could understand it because she broke it down in terms that I understood. She used words that made sense to me. And then she also could relate to where I was struggling. So being able to relate to your students and being 2 steps ahead is actually extremely valuable when it comes to you as a course creator and as a teacher. And then, look in the chat here. Looks like a lot of you guys can relate to that. Kim says her calc prof. Yep. The most important part of any online course, and if there's one thing that I want you to get from this step, it's this. You need to focus on the butterfly effect. And it has nothing to do with the movie that I've yet to see. But you need to get clear on what is the transformation you're providing your students. Because no matter how great of a topic you have, no matter how much research you've done, market research to find that there's a demand for this, the only reason that someone will pay money for your course is because they are investing in the outcome. So who will they be at the end of your course? What will they have? How will they be different? An example of this, we have Charlie Hohen's How to Land a Job You Love. Or going back to our lovely Jessica Sprague, learn how to create digital scrapbooks in 30 days. Very clear outcomes, very clear transformations. So, now I have a question for you. True or false? Who here thinks that the more information you teach in your course, the more valuable your course is? True or false? Let me know. Type into the chat. And this is an interesting one because there's a lot wrapped up in this mindset, but I think we feel like, well, if I'm charging money for something, I need to ensure I give everything away. I need to cram as much information, hours and hours of content to really make this valuable and to really justify any price that I'm charging. And, but you guys are onto it. Michael says false. Nicole says false. Jen says false. They're not always ready for a ton of info. You guys got this. I don't even need to do this webinar. You guys can teach it. No, I'm messing. But it is false. Your course does not need to have a massive amount of information. And I hope everyone just took the biggest sigh of relief right now. A good online course simplifies things. So it cuts through the information to find out what is actually important. Because if you think about it, we could go into YouTube and Google right now and figure out how to do whatever it is that you want to teach for free, right? Everyone knows that. The reason why I or anyone would buy your course is because when we try to learn things for free on the internet, it tends to take us 10 times as long. We don't know where to start. We make a heap of mistakes because we don't have a clear step-by-step process to follow. So your course is the shortcut to an outcome. And the value is in being able to simplify and aggregate and help people sort through the noise. Okay, so let's just recap here. Define your profitable course idea. Step 1, you want to write down the topics you're passionate about, skills that you have, jobs that you've done. Step 2, you figure out the outcome that you're going to provide your students. So it's all about that transformation. And then 3, you choose the most impactful transformation. Okay, so we've just finished step 1. And yep, I can hear you already. You're like, what? Jess, that was only step 1? But look, this is intentional because I need to ensure you have a strong foundation to build off of. But now that you do, let's go into step 2, which is setting your income goals. Now, the easiest way to launch your course is to build a small but engaged email list. And this is of people who are genuinely interested in your topic. And then what you do is you launch your course to that list. However, before you can launch your course and start making money, there's a formula that you need to use and understand. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that go into launching a course, they don't use this, and then they're left disappointed when they don't make the money or the numbers that they wanted. So this is a formula, and you're not gonna have that problem. Take a screenshot of this, but we need to know what your revenue goal is. So I asked you this in the earlier step, but how much money do you realistically want to make? And then working backwards, we need to figure out how many people you need in your email list, the conversion rate. And a conversion rate is a percentage of people that turn into paying customers, and then the price of your course. And then when you have a list of fans who know, they like, they trust you, it is so much easier to hit your income goals and launch your course to them. All right, now I'd love to know, type into the chat, who here has an audience already? Maybe that is an email list, Facebook, website traffic, MySpace, I don't know, whatever it is, type into the chat and let me know. And if you're at 0, type in 0, because look, we all started somewhere. And as you're doing this and as you're typing this into the chat, I'm going to let you know that for the purpose of this webinar, I'm actually going to assume that you're starting at 0. Now, if you have an audience, you definitely have a bit of an advantage. But the good news is that you can go from 0 to an audience of 500, even a few thousand people, pretty quickly. You need to know the right things to do, and I'm definitely going to share that with you in just a moment. But first, let's come back to this formula. So for this example, I want you to imagine that your course is priced at $100 to $300, let's say $200. Now, if you just clenched up in your seat when I said that and you're like, yeesh, that seems kind of expensive, don't worry, there's actually a very specific and intentional reason behind this, which I will discuss in a moment. But let's say that you wanted to make $1,000. Working backwards, we're going to say that your conversion rate is 2%. And 2% is an industry average. It's considered good. So to do that, we're going to put 0.02 and then the price of your course. So that being said, working backwards, that means that you need 250 people in your following to make $1,000. Or that breaks down to 5 people in the entire World Wide Web that need to purchase your course. Now, if you've opened up a new tab and you're scrolling through Facebook, I want you to come back to this slide and really look at this. 250 people. Now, I don't know about you, but before I ever launched my first course, I thought that I needed to have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people on my email list to start making money. And the truth is, everyone can do this, including you. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about how we're going to grow your email list, which is what step 3 is. So you might be thinking, well, how do I create that initial email list? And what's very interesting is that every successful course creator on Teachable has been doing it in the exact same proven way. And to the point where I have yet to see anyone doing it differently. If you or you know someone that has, please let me know. It would be a first. But you need to give away free value, whether that is free content, a piece of your course, in exchange for someone's email address. And the best or possibly worst analogy that I have for this, type into the chat, who here goes to Costco? I know my mom and I do. I don't know if it's still the hip place to hang out, but let me know in the chat. Now, I want everyone to just close their eyes right now. And I want you to imagine that you are walking down an aisle in Costco or your favorite grocery store, and someone comes up to you and says, hey, we have these box of cookies. They're $20. Would you like to buy them? Now, I don't know about you. I love cookies. But if someone said that to me, my first reaction would be, well, no. I've never tried them. I don't know if I like them. And $20 seems a little bit expensive. But let's say that you're walking down another aisle. Someone comes up to you, and you guys probably know where this is going. They give you some free samples. They say, hey, we've got these cookies that we just love to offer you. Now, let's say you try it and it is the most delicious thing you've ever tasted. Now, do you think you're going to be more inclined to purchase the box? And the truth is yes. And it's the exact same principle when it comes to launching your course. We need to give away free value to show people why they resonate with your teaching style, that they can get results from you before we can ever expect them to pay money for our course. Now, we have 18 strategies that we use to grow an email list, and we list them all inside our Teachable Academy courses. But we're in a webinar right now, and I want to give you our top 3 strategies. So get ready to take some screenshots or take some notes here. Method 1 is a giveaway. So this is great, especially if you're just starting out. I would recommend a tool like King Sumo, King SUMO. We'll type that into the chat, or Cameron will. And this is great because you have a giveaway. Someone enters their email to be entered in the giveaway. But then as soon as they do, they're then prompted to share it on social media for 3 additional entries. And what you'll find is that your giveaway can kind of feel like it's going viral because everyone is sharing it for those additional entries. With great power, though, comes great responsibility. What I will say is make sure the prize you are offering is so specific to your target audience and your potential students that only they would genuinely want to win it. And why I say that is because I have a lot of friends that have done giveaways, and they've been super successful in the sense that they have gotten a lot of people that enter in them. And that's because they thought that if they give something extravagant away, like let's say an iPad, they're going to get a lot of interest. And it's true, they definitely did, but they got people that were entering because they wanted a free iPad, not because they were interested in the topic. So just make sure the prize you're offering is going to filter everyone else out except for your potential students. Okay, so now let's go into method 2, which is the mini course. So let's say you have a premium course. It's called How to Plan a Trip to Italy. You've got 10 modules inside. What you can do without creating any additional work is give away one of those modules for free as part of a mini course. And what happens is pretty interesting. First, you can instantly put hundreds of people in your mini course. You start to build a really great audience. You deliver a lot of value. You start building a relationship with them. But, and not everyone knows this, you can use their feedback to help you sell your paid course in the form of a testimonial. Always be transparent with where you got the testimonial from, and also that you have their permission to share it. But this is a really great way to start building your social proof and your credibility if you're launching a new product, a new paid product rather, and no one has actually really gone through it yet. And then you'll have an audience of people that are excited for your paid course. And just to give you an example, Angela Fair, our watercolor painting instructor, this is exactly what she does. She has her courses for free that are simple watercolor techniques. But then if you want to take it a step further, or you really want to learn a very specific skill, that's when people purchase her courses. All right, now let's go into method 3, which is the webinar, which is very similar or exactly as to what you are on now. And webinars are a great way to teach and give value to your audience. The only thing I would say, and I just say this as a rule of thumb, but I don't think most of you guys or any of you guys would do this, ensure that with your webinar, you give so much value regardless of if people purchase from you or not. And I know that probably feels a bit counterintuitive. You're like, what? Why would I do that? But the only way to build a genuine audience of people that are genuinely interested in you and your work and your course topic is to show them and provide them value up front. So you don't want to be one of those people that does like 5 minutes of like theory, 30 minutes of like talking about themselves, and then an hour of just selling their product. No one likes that. It does not do any good, but just have to say that, not that I think you guys would. Now, there's 18 strategies, but I've just given you guys 3. Who here thinks they can do 1 or 2 of those? And honestly, I think everyone can, but I want us to get very intentional here. Let's have some accountability. Type into the chat and let me know which strategy you plan to use and when. And you can tweet us. I've definitely had people start tweeting me now and being like, hey, Jess, are you from the webinar? I launched my free mini course. But please tell me a date which one you're going to use. And if you tweet me, I will hold you accountable because this is going to make such an impact when you go to launch your course. And then after you do this over a 10 to 14 day period, you have your list. And then in the last step, I'm going to show you how to launch your course to that list. And guys, I'm giving you an actual course marketing calendar, everything you need, emails. So just stay tuned for that. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to go into step 4, which is pricing. Now, who here is considering making a course and selling it for less than $100? Type into the chat and let me know. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee as you're typing that in. Okay, and seeing here, you guys are typing in what strategy you're going to use. Pizza's free content via blog. Cara says mini course. That's great. Okay, so also type in, there's a bit of a delay. I recognize that. But also type in if you're planning on selling a course for less than $100. And what we have found is that the best way to hit your revenue target, it's actually to use premium pricing. We say this is like the Rolls-Royce effect. We want people to look at your course like the Rolls-Royce of online courses versus like an impulse buy, kind of like a cheap beat up car or secondhand car. Like we want the perception to be of high value, the like Louis Vuitton of online courses. But I'm not just saying that because that sounds bougie and fancy. Going back to the data, we looked at the average price for our top 10 selling instructors. So the top 10 people that were the most successful on our platform, the average price of their courses was $272. But I mean, that being said, there's some that are well over $1,000. And I want you to think of what is the premium price for your industry. So I'm not saying that everyone should charge $272, but you want to be at the higher end of what your audience is normally buying. So for example, if you have a course that teaches millionaires how to hire staff for their yachts, as an example, $200 is not going to be a premium price. If you're teaching someone how to get out of debt or how to save money, $99 I would think is a premium price. So it's all relevant to your audience. But when you use premium pricing, a couple of interesting things happen. First, it's easier to hit your income goals because you don't have to make as many sales, but your students will get better results and they're more fun to work with. And this is because it wasn't an impulse buy. So your students had to make a conscious decision to purchase your course. They had to really think of, is this worth it? Is it worth me spending this money on this course? And because of that, you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to go through the work, they're going to ask questions, they're going to be engaged and get results. But going for your goals, if you wanted to make $1,000, if you charge $100, you only need to make 10 sales. If you charge $500, that's two people that have to purchase your course. And even with $5,000, same thing, $100, 2 sales per day, $500, 10 sales the entire month. So do you guys think these goals are approachable when we actually break them up into these steps? Let me know. I really hope that it makes it feel a little bit less daunting. And then I also want us to do a bit of a thought experiment. I want everyone right now to type into the chat, I'm going to charge what I'm worth, ! And I'm not just saying that because it's really neat to see everyone type the same thing all at once. I believe it also comes down to you valuing your time, your knowledge, and the results that you're providing people. Don't feel like you have to undercharge what you are genuinely worth just to justify selling your course to people. So, and like in the chat, everyone's like, I will charge more. Great. Okay, so now we have finished step 4. Let's go on to step 5, which is creating your school and a high converting sales page. Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, so we found that there's 5 things that you need when you put your course online. 1, you want it to be absolutely beautiful, but you should be able to do that in less than an hour, regardless of your technical expertise. 2, make sure you have your own domain name. Small thing, but makes a very big difference because it's a credibility booster, it looks professional, and it also is a lot easier to remember a domain when it's your course name or your name. 3, make sure your course website is mobile optimized. So that means that it'll look good on every device, whether that is your phone, a tablet, a computer. 4, make sure you have total control over your students' data and emails. And this is compared to course marketplaces. I'm not going to point fingers or say names, but this is genuinely just how Teachable got started. So our CEO on Core, he had some courses on a popular course marketplace site. And one day he noticed that the amount of students he had in his courses skyrocketed. Now, that is a very exciting time for any creator. However, what was weird was that his revenue wasn't changing. So he looks into it more and he sees this website offered his course for free. And this is something they do regularly. Seems crazy, but that's just how they work. Now, to make matters worse, he decided to make his own platform, which is what Teachable is now. And he could not move over the students that he had worked so hard to get because this website owned that data. Now, I really, no matter how you create your course, please promise me you will help them, or you will have full control over your students' data and emails. And 5th, make sure you can accept payments on day 1. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You can do all of this on Teachable, but I don't want to just say that you can and be like, yeah, we're great. I want you to actually get a quick win right now, and I want you to see how easy it is to create your school. So let's get your school created. So this is going to be interactive. If you've been nodding off, which I'm sure none of you have, now's the time to get your mouse and your keyboards ready. And Lisa says, what do you mean by full control? So what I mean is that you have access to their email addresses. They are your students. And it's not like so if you wanted to email them or you wanted to import them to a different, like a mail service provider, like ConvertKit or MailChimp, you could do that. Okay. And by the way, we're going to have Q&A at the end. So don't worry if I've missed any questions in the chat, I will definitely be answering them. So I want everyone right now to go to teachable.com. And also if you've done this already, just, grab a snack, come on back. I want you to type in the email that you would like to use to create your school. This is obviously my real email. Click the orange Get Started button. Now I'm going to type in my name, my password. Super sneaky, can't tell you what that is. Click I agree the terms of use. And here, let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Great. Okay, so you've done this. Now click the orange Get Started button. All right, now it's asking us to name our school, and I just want to let you know this is not permanent. So to prove it to you, I'm going to put Jess's Awesome Amazing Course, or school rather. You can change your school name at any point. And then I'm going to click the orange Create New School. Great, and just going to ask me to choose a location. And here we are. So I wish I timed this. This is literally all that you need to do in order to create your school. And then from there, you can click on Create a Course to build your very first course, customize the look and feel. You can add in your own domain name. You can look up more training, so much there. But yeah, so let me know in the chat if you've done that. And I hope that you feel like that was a lot less daunting. Okay, let's go back here. Okay. So now that you have your school, we need to talk about sales pages because we want one that actually converts. And we found that there's 6 things that you need for a high converting sales page. So first, we have our title and subdescription, and I'm going to be using Pat Flynn's sales page, which is on Teachable, his Power Up Podcasting course, because it is one of the most perfect examples of a high converting sales page. So the title and your subdescription, what the focus should be here is that it is so clear what the outcome or the transformation is that you're providing. So for Pat, it's Power Up Podcasting, a step-by-step course to launch a successful podcast that gets found and grows your online brand. Holy moly, if that is not the most clear description on what the transformation is, I don't know what is. So really, you want to be clear, not clever. Then below it, you'll see that there's a video. Now, if you click on it, the video appears and you'll see Pat talking about his course. And video is probably one of the most important things that you could create or have on your sales page. It does not need to be professionally filmed. It does not need to be fancy with lots of effects. The whole point of having video is that your potential students see who you are, that there is a real person behind this course, and if they resonate with your style and who you are. Then you've got your course description. Now, rather than just listing out everything that you have in your course, again, focus on the transformation, the outcome, and what people can expect. Then we've got testimonials. So it's one thing for you to say how amazing and great you are. It's another for someone who has worked with you, who quite likely has very similar pain points to what your potential students have now, but they got results from working with you. And here, you can ask your students or people that have worked with you to record a video. You could get a quote and include their photo. Most important is that you just have other people talking about you and the results that you provide. And then finally, payment plans. So because we are going to be using premium pricing, everyone said that they're going to be charging more. That also means that it might not be accessible to everyone in one payment. So without devaluing your course, by splitting it up, you can do 2 payments over 3 months or however long you want it. It allows more people to join without putting them in a position where they just aren't able to. So why should you be so excited? Well, there's actually sales pages in Teachable to the point where they are automatically generated. And it's really just a fill in the blank template, and you can customize it as little or as much as you want. And then your sales page is where you're going to send everyone once you start promoting your course. So we are through the first 5 steps. You can't see me, but I'm giving you a virtual high five. This was a lot though, so let's just recap quick. So step 1, we talked about how to find your most profitable course idea. 2 was setting your income goals. 3, we talked about growing your audience. 4 was pricing. 5, you created your school. We talked about sales pages. Now let's go on to step 6, which is creating your content. And then step 7, the launch. Now, when it comes to creating your content, I can already hear you. You're probably thinking, Jess, that sounds like a lot of work. And I relate to this feeling. I totally get it. But the good news is it's actually not that hard. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to create your course content, which is first, you want to create a course outline. So you want to write down the process step by step that someone needs to go through to get whatever the desired outcome is that your course provides. And then each step in your outline becomes a section. Now, keep it to 6 to 12 sections, nothing more. And then in each section is where you put your video lectures. Now, for your videos, this is what I found just to be the most helpful, but answer 3 questions. 1, what are they about to learn? Why is it important? And then how do they do that? That's it. Answer those questions in each video and you will have a foolproof way of recording your content. And then remember, no matter what you're doing, the most important part of any module, any video that you're doing is to provide a transformation. Now, for the actual slides or the video, what you can do is you could create a PowerPoint or Keynote presentation, then use screen recording software like Camtasia or ScreenFlow. And what it does is it records your screen, but also your audio. So you can just go through your presentation as if you were giving a live lecture and then just save it and upload it. But if you don't want to do that, other ideas, you could do interviews with experts, cheat sheets, case studies, supporting materials, toolkits. The biggest takeaway that I hope you get is that it does not need to be expensive or complicated to get a professional looking course. Okay, now who's ready to get into the fun stuff and launch your course? Now, this is my favorite step, so I need you to give me some energy in the chat. Let me know that you're still with me, that you're ready for this. So type in heck yes, oh yeah, ready for this, Jess. Let's do this. So let's go into step 7, which is the launch. Now, a launch is the period during your sales phase where people can join your course. So up until this point, we were in what we call the pre-launch phase. So we're getting people excited. We're getting people to really resonate with who you are. They're getting results. Now the launch is a first opportunity that people can buy. So if you remember way back in step 3, I showed you how to build your list and your audience. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to launch your course to that list of new raving fans. So experimentation is great, but I think sometimes it's better just to follow a proven plan that actually works. So I want to give you that simple but effective launch calendar. And the easiest way to launch your course and make money is actually to do it in 2 steps over a 30-day period. So first, you want to educate your community. So this is where you're doing your blog posts, the mini course, webinar, giveaway, and then you launch your course the following 1 to 2 weeks. Now, for your first launch, keep things small because you can make an extra 5, 10K or more on your first launch, even by launching to a small list of a few hundred people. So this is what we call the education phase. And at the end of this phase, people are going to know that you can help them because you have. They're going to want your course because now you've generated a demand for it, but they also trust you. And they trust you because you've earned it. There's no sneaky marketing here. For 8 days, you gave nothing but pure value, regardless of if people purchase from you or not. Then you're going to find that you have maybe 500, maybe 1,000 or more, of which there's going to be a percentage that are absolutely ready for your course. And this is where things get fun. This is where we transition into the sales phase of the launch. So we call this our 8-day launch phase because for 8 days, you're sending out 8 emails. And I know that can seem a bit overwhelming, so don't worry. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what you actually put in those emails. So here it is. Day 1, you have a course teaser, mention you'll be launching your course, but people can't join just yet. Day 2, you talk about what is in the course, the outcome, the transformation. Day 3, this is where you say your enrollment is open, people can now join. Day 4, answering questions like, is this course right for me? FAQs. Day 5, adding a surprise bonus for your course. So this is like, hey, everyone that joined, you're now getting this awesome bonus. Day 6, add in a thank you email, thanking everyone that's joined, testimonials, social proof. Day 7, you make a logical argument for why your course makes sense. And you can be very honest. You can say like, look, my course is not for everyone, but it is for you if, and then explain why. And then day 8 is where you say enrollment is closing, last chance to buy. And if you want, you can add in an extra 1 to 2 emails. So this is what the launch calendar looks like. If you want to add in an extra webinar, you can, but just know the money will typically come in spurts. And I wish I had known this when I did my first launch because it would have been a lot less stressful. So you'll find the first day that you open up cart, you'll make some sales, but then expect it to drop. And then you'll find that the most sales come on the very last day. And this is consistent. I don't know why. We've actually had one woman, she had a 6-figure launch, and on one particular day, no one joined. So I just want to put that in perspective. It is not over until it's over. Okay, so I have a testimonial to share from Lee. This is one of my favorite testimonials because Lee was on one of these 7 Steps webinars like you were just watching or you just finished watching, and he grew his list to 1,400 people. He then had a final sign-up of 240 people. And I'm not saying that these results are typical because they're like amazing, but what I am just saying is that when you follow everything that I've just shared with you, and I've seen this time and time again, you're going to get results. So my friends, we did it. I am so proud of you for spending your Tuesday / maybe Wednesday morning, depending on where you're located, to watch this. I hope this has been valuable for you. But I want you to type, before we get into the Q&A, please type to the chat and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. So what was it about this presentation? Was there a new skill that you learned or a new strategy? Maybe you had a new idea. I don't know, but type into the chat and let me know. And really, I hope that no matter what takeaway or what your biggest takeaway was, I hope the one thing that you get is that you can do this. And I'm not saying this because I'm Canadian and it's cheesy. I'm saying this because I've genuinely seen people on every single level launch courses and following these strategies I've just shared with you. I did not hold anything back and get results. It's just taking that consistent step-by-step action. But on the other side, like, look, I have been through this where I've was introduced to online courses and was learning all these strategies. And if you're just starting out, maybe type in the chat if you're maybe feeling a little bit like this, just like information overload. Like, what was step 1 again? And if that is you, how many of you just want me to get rid of that overwhelm and just give you our exact easy to follow process for launching your course? Type into the chat, let me know. I'm just looking at your takeaways here. Christo says the pricing mentality. Kim says, thanks for the depth of content. Thank you, Kim. Lots of really great takeaways. But yeah, if you want me to just get rid of that overwhelm and just like tell you how to launch your course, make it easy. As I mentioned before, to launch your course, you need two things. First, you need the proven plan to follow from people who have actually done it before, but then you also need a way to create your school. And we want to ensure that you have both. And if you want to figure out a course topic that people are going to love, you want to become more well-known in your space, increase your credibility, you want to grow your income, but in a more scalable way, and if you want to help a lot of people just build this incredible community around your work, and you want to do all of this in the next 30 days, this Teachable bundle is going to be specifically for you. And I'm very excited for this because everything you're getting today, first, you're going to get our professional plan. So this is our most popular plan. And inside it, it's the tool. It's everything that you need to create and grow your online course business. You can have unlimited courses and students. There's instant payouts, no transaction fees, certificates, unlimited one-click upsells, save credit cards for your students, and actually anyone that is on Teachable that has purchased a course that is on Teachable, their payments are saved with their account so they can then come to your course and buy it with one click. There's so much in here. It is everything that you need. And if you're optimizing for getting more students and generating more sales from your courses and your products, this is it. And once you have the number one software, in our humble opinion, to deliver your online course, you're going to need that step-by-step plan, right? To really help you create and market your course and start generating more revenue. And this is what I'm so excited about, guys. We are launching our brand new Teachable You course series. And my goodness, a lot went into this. Like, we have spent 6 figures on producing this and going through the data and the information that we have. We spent a lot of money and time and just really looking at what is it that we can provide you to get the results, backed off of data, backed off of strategies that actually are proven. So you're going to get access to 4 incredible workshops. First is a choose your course topic. Now, this is key. This is a foundation for launching your course business. And at the end of it, you'll walk away with a refined and validated course idea, a name for your school and course, and a healthy foundation. 2, you're getting our Build Your Audience course. And at the end of it, you'll have a mini course to use to grow your audience. You'll have tested tactics to grow your audience and confidence that the list and the audience you're building are people that are actually interested in your topic and are going to be potential students. Then we've got the Create Your Course. You might recognize that friendly face. And at the end of it, you're going to have a fully fleshed course outline. We're giving you PDFs and like content and a marketing strategy that you need, high quality online course that your students are going to love, and just all the tools and skills that you need to build your course. And then finally, the Launch Your Course. And at the end of it, you're going to have a perfectly priced course to hit your revenue target. You're going to have that proven launch method. It's everything that I talked about today, but in so much more depth. A 30-day email sequence guaranteed to get your first sale. And you're getting course workbooks, checklists, templates, downloads in every course. So this has really been thought out. And after you go through this program, you'll have successfully created your first profitable online course, but with real students and revenue. And then if you upgrade to the professional plan, we're going to include 8 weeks of live group coaching. So this is where you can hop on a Zoom call on video and really get your questions answered. If you have very specific things you want to ask or you want someone to look at your school, this is live with a Teachable expert. And the best part is that you can go through this at your own pace because I know schedules are busy. All that I need from you is to watch the videos, do the action items and ask questions, because when you take action on this, you're going to get results. And I've seen this time and time again because you're getting the exact tool that thousands of Teachables instructors have used to grow their online course business. So everything you're getting today, just by upgrading to our professional monthly plan, which is valued at $99, you're going to get full access Teachable You, which is a value of $988. You're going to get our professional plan, 8 weeks of live group coaching, which is a value of $800. The total value is over $1,800. But if you upgrade to our professional plan, which is $99 a month, you can cancel at any time. We're actually going to give you the full course and all those bonuses as a gift. Now, if you're sitting here and you're like, this is a no-brainer decision. I need Teachable. I really want to go through these programs and this training, but maybe the professional plan isn't the right fit yet. We've also decided if you upgrade to the basic plan, which is just $39 a month, you're going to get all of those bonuses outside of the coaching calls. So we'll give you full access to that training and those courses. And the basic plan has most of the awesome features that you need, but the main difference is that there's limited marketing features, a 5% transaction fee, and we really say the basic plan is a good fit for you if you're not planning on launching for another 6 months to a year, or you're not planning on making any money from your online courses. So what I need you to do is that if this is the right fit for you and you're super excited, you can click the buy now button above this video. And then one other thing I want to add, we have a 100% money back guarantee. So I want you to take 30 days to go through everything. I want you to set up your school. You can go through the training. And if by the end of that time you decide it's just not the right fit for you, let me know. We'll give you a full refund. There's no questions asked. It's 100% risk-free. So everything you're getting today, again, by upgrading to a professional plan, you get full access to our Teachable You. It's valued at $988. Templates, checklists, workbooks, 8 weeks of live group coaching calls so you're not left behind. You get your questions answered. Total value of over $1,800. And I'm going to share 2 testimonials here with you. We got Fiona, who said after 2 weeks of a free workshop, tweeting and marketing, she closed in 40 paid students at $97 a student. Alan Perlman, in less than 72 hours, had already made over $6,000 in sales. And people like Melissa Griffin have used Teachable. It can scale with your business to sell hundreds and thousands of dollars of courses. Now, we're going to get into the Q&A in just a second, but what I want you to do next, very important, let me know when you've upgraded, especially, because we're including like those coaching calls and it's not something we offer everyone. So I want to ensure that you get that. So type into the chat and let me know when you've upgraded. And you can do that by clicking the buy now button above this video. Now, if you want to upgrade a pre-existing school, so you already have an account on Teachable, no problem. All that I need from you is to choose a plan that is the right fit for you. And then rather than recreating an account, at the top right of the screen, click login. And then after you do this, you'll receive an email with all of the bonus links and everything that you need. Now, you might be wondering, well, why is this offer so great, Jess? Like, why are you guys just giving away all this content for free? And the truth is that we can do this because we're a software company, right? So our business is not dependent on the sales of online courses. But that being said, we are only successful when our customers are. And what we found was that when we first launched Teachable, we offered and we're selling training. And the people that were going through the training were getting results, were making more money with online courses, well, they were in a position to pay Teachable longer. So even just from a pure business perspective, we need to ensure that you're actually successful. Otherwise, well, why would you stay? And not only that, but this will easily pay for itself once you just start selling 1 or 2 copies from your course and you have the full strategy on how to do that with Teachable You. And then Jeanette says, if you're on the fence at all, I urge you to use Teachable for your online academy or school. From the get-go, what was obvious to me was that the passion that these guys had for helping me and you and everyone else to offer the absolute best experience for their students. Really nice testimonial from Jeanette. And by the way, if you're wondering, yes, Teachable works with all of your favorite tools. So if you have an email service provider like ConvertKit or MailChimp or Infusionsoft, everything we integrate via Zapier. And then if you need assistance once you're in, we are here to help. This is a real photo of our real customer care team, except for we're like 10 times larger. So let's just get into the Q&A. I'm so excited to answer your questions. I hope this has been valuable for you, and I'm just super excited to see what you guys get up to. Okay, let me switch back here. Hey guys. Okay. Let's see. And again, so if I have missed one of your questions, if you're typing a question throughout the presentation, please just type it again. Okay. Mary says, just upgraded. Virtual high five, Mary. I hope you're doing this to the screen. Otherwise, I just look really silly. I'm so excited to see what you get up to. Lisa says, I'm stoked. Yay. Great. Lisa says, if I already have the basic account, is there something else I need to do in order to get these extras? Lisa, we value you for you being an action taker and joining us. So we'll give you, like, you're going to have access to the training. If you wanted to upgrade to the professional plan from basic, then you would get the coaching calls. But outside of that, you're going to get the training. Okay. Jen says, very interested, but have to clear time in my schedule to create course. Jen, that makes total sense. If you're not in a position to like create your course, or you don't need access to the training that we're offering, totally fine. And as you guys are typing in your question, oh, okay, let's see here. Mary says, questions. Can you share your top selling teachers? I could, but I don't know, because we're not a marketplace, so we don't publicly advertise, and I don't know, not everyone likes to share how well they're doing or how much money they're making. So I'd have to verify that that's okay with them. But if you check out our blog, we definitely feature some of our top creators and instructors on our website too. But yeah, I don't want to out anyone for being super successful if they don't want me to share it. Okay, so Glenn says, upgraded to pro. Virtual Terry King upgraded to pro. Virtual high five, everyone. Super excited. Nicole says, great presentation. I upgraded, looking forward to the coaching calls. I need help. Nicole, I'm so excited for you. Guys, can you please, like, regardless of if you upgrade tonight, this afternoon or not, please keep me in the loop with the progress that you get. Like, I mean, looking at Lee, the testimonial that I shared with you, he like applied everything I just shared in the webinar and was getting results. So like, let me know if you apply a strategy and you start making sales, or you get your outline done. Let me know. It's always really fun to see what you guys get up to. Al says, will I lose content if I cancel subscription after a year? So Al, if you cancel your subscription, you'll be downgraded to our free plan. So we won't remove your content. Your students would still have access, but it would be very limited to like the features that you have. You would lose access to everything that you get and the functionality from our paid plan. But we don't just delete your content, because that would not be very fair. Terry says, do we automatically receive the bonuses when we upgrade? Yes, I would give it around like an hour at most. It should be pretty instant though. Nicole says, how can we keep in touch with you? Instagram, we're at Teachable, and I'm at Jessica Tor, or you can go to our Facebook community. Actually, Cameron, I'm sure, is waiting to post a link. Cameron, would you mind posting the link to our Facebook community? It's the Teachable Tribe, and that is just such an awesome group as well, because it is people just like you, aspiring creators, current course creators. You can share your wins. You can ask questions. It's super engaged. I think we're at like 25,000 people in that group right now. So Cameron will definitely post a link to that. Someone was asking about a replay. I think it was Lisa. We will email you a replay tomorrow. Lisa upgraded to basic. Linda is a replay. Yes. B has upgraded. Welcome everyone that's upgrading. This is awesome. Virtual high fives. I feel like you're just upgrading just to see me do a virtual high five. But yeah, I'm so excited for you. Pietro says, can I edit title and description meta tags for each page on Teachable? I want to add, so you can customize, especially on our pro plan, you can customize everything with code. So you don't have to, but if you know how to code, or you have a developer that you want to work with, you can customize all of that. Let me just see here. Arslan says, I'm a student of Bachelor of Science and I'm good at programming, but I have no professional profile. So what do I have to do? So what I would say in this case, so it sounds like you have a skill, you have something that you are like good at and you're passionate about, but you don't maybe have the following yet. And I mean, we talked about this in Teachable U, and I talked about this in this webinar today. What I think your focus should be at this point is I would create a mini course or some form of way to grow your email list in your audience, because really that is the key. And it doesn't need to be big. I mean, you could have a small audience of even like 50 people, but you just want to get a group of people that are genuinely interested in what you are teaching. They resonate with your teaching style. before I would advise you to just launch a course. Because that's how you're going to get the best results. Of course, there's people that have created content and then got lucky and people just like purchase with no marketing. But I'm very realistic. And I think to ensure that you have a sustainable online course business, focus on building that community and that tribe, and you'll get definitely better results. Oh, Lisa says, can I promote my book, which my course comes from? Can I promote my book? Can you explain what you mean by that? Do you mean like, can you talk about your book in your course? Because you definitely can. In fact, we have people that will promote their courses, their authors, and they'll talk about their courses inside their books. They're like, look, if you want to learn more about this, I actually go further in this chapter or talk about this chapter in my mini course here. Susanna says, can I start with the basic and upgrade to pro? Absolutely. Susanna says, oops, start, not tart. Yeah, I gotcha. So Susanna, she says, is it better to start with pro even if I won't be launching the mini course for a month or so? So I'm going to be very honest with you, Susanna. It depends on what your needs are. So with pro, if you upgrade, you get our 8 weeks of live group coaching. So if you wanted to have access to a teachable expert, you wanted to start building your mini course as you're learning, going through Teachable You and like using all the features on pro, I would definitely recommend it. Or because we have a 30-day refund policy, you could upgrade to pro. And then if you feel like you want more time or you don't need it, you could always downgrade to basic. And then at least start some of those bonuses. So it's totally up to you. And where you're at. So I'm not going to say that you have to go into pro. It's just what would be the most valuable for you. Okay. Nicole says, are the coaching calls for the pro individual or group coaching? They're group coaching, but like they're pretty intimate in the sense that like it's not like a massive group of like 20 people. Last week there was actually 2 people. And it was like it's basically like private coaching because we allow you to start the coaching calls when you want. So we don't make people like, if you want to get your coaching calls, you have to do it from this date to that date. Because realistically, a lot of people actually will wait. They'll like go through Teachable You or, well, they will now. They'll go through the content. They'll like write out what their questions are. And then they'll start it like a month later. So there's no pressure in like you having to jump on the bandwagon, but because of that, you'll find that sometimes there aren't actually that many people in the coaching call, so you get pretty personalized advice. Okay. Mary says, best practices for using forums, ideas on memberships and group coaching in addition to the content we create on Teachable. So you can do memberships in Teachable, but I think what you're specifically referring to is like building that community for your course, like where people can talk about what they're doing, sharing their wins, getting like maybe support from other people in the group. So best practices, the first thing I would say, and this is just like from personal experience, ensure that before you launch your course, you have the bandwidth to support people in a group. Because the idea of having like a Facebook group or like a forum seems great, but if you get a big influx of students and you're like, oh, it's just me and all these people are tagging me in the post and they're asking questions and it's overwhelming. So just ensure that you are able to like sustain having a group and answer people's questions. And then also I would have prompts. So if you have, let's say 5 modules, what is really helpful is maybe you have every week you have just a post with like, you could just do like a little graphic from Canva that says like, what was your biggest win this week? Or if you've gone through module 1, share your progress or your work or whatever it is. But giving people a reason to engage in that community, because sometimes they need that little nudge to help them interact in it. Beth says, if I'm already a pro member, do I get the coaching calls? Well, Beth, we of course value you for being an action taker and joining before this. So if you email support@teachable.com, I'm sure we can work something out for you. Jen says, great presentation and offer. Thank you, Jen. This was fun. Mary says, yes, and having a reason for recurring revenue on an annual basis. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so membership specifically is in like, that is what you are selling. Yes, okay, there's things that you need to consider for that too. So what Mary's asking is there's 2 ways that you could share your knowledge. I mean, there's more than 2, but specifically we have our course, which is standalone. People enroll, they get the content up front, or a membership where every month there's new content being released to your students. And this is great because when you do a membership, every month people pay you a subscription fee. So it's like regular income every month. But the things that people don't really talk about with membership sites is there's a whole new set of challenges that you have to be ready for. So specifically churn. And what I mean by that is when you have a course launch, you launch your course, you get people in, that's it. They can't just like leave. I mean, unless they refund their money. But when it comes to membership, you have to constantly be thinking of not just finding new people to join your membership to grow, but also how do you keep your current customer base paying every month? So, that can be tough. It's something where you definitely have to have the time, the bandwidth to be able to do that. But that being said, it can also be super valuable because you're providing new content every month for people. So, there's pros and cons to both of them. It just depends on your students. It depends on your time and just if you have new content that you could be releasing every month. Okay. Do you have any other questions? If I missed your question, let me know. But again, another virtual high five to everyone that is joining. I'm so excited to see what you guys do. This is I'm telling you, once you launch your course, this is something like no one does, but like once you launch your course, you're going to look back and be like, oh, like why did I not do this 4 months ago? It's like that initial, it's like just getting over the hurdle of creating your content, getting over those mindset blocks where you're like, and I've been there, where you're like, who am I to teach this? Like there's hundreds of other people probably teaching the same thing. But then once you launch and you start seeing like you have this community, you have people that are getting results from your work, it's super exciting and it's thrilling. And it's also just crazy because you're like, oh, this isn't actually that daunting. I could have done this ages ago. Nicole says, are any online courses live or all recorded? You can do both. In Teachable, you can embed basically anything. So you could embed a YouTube live. It just depends if you want people to have an interactive element or you want people just to be able to consume the content whenever they want. Susanna says, thanks for info. Just upgraded to pro. Virtual high five, Susanna. I'm so excited for you. Welcome. Mary says, curious if you have any special lighting on you right now. I forget what I see. Oh, yes. You actually can probably see with my glasses. We use a ring light. It is, without my glasses. Yeah. It is the best light I could recommend if you want. You don't have to get the expensive ones. There's like the one that we have, it's the Diva ring light. We're not sponsored by them, but it's around $200. But there's the newer ring light, which I think is around $100, or you can even like make your own ring light by just getting tube lighting from a hardware store and just like propping it up. There's like proper tutorials and like courses on how to do this. But the ring light, it just makes such a difference because it just makes everything brighter. Cameron, thank you. Okay. Christine says, how do you protect content from piracy? So this is a really important question, but I'll be very honest. Like we do everything possible to prevent people from stealing your content. We're password protected. There's so many things that we do, but it's the internet. And if someone really wants to steal content, the biggest companies like Sony couldn't prevent movies from being pirated. So, it's like realistically, if someone really wanted to do that, they could. But the problem that I find with this is that it also means that when we think about this, we focus our attention on how do we stop people from stealing our content rather than focusing our attention on how do I get new students to come in? How do I put my focus on my current students to get the best results? So I would just be aware of, is this like genuinely a concern, or are you focusing a lot of time on this element when you could be using it for other things? So we do everything in our power to ensure that people do not pirate your content. But at the end of the day, it's the internet. And if people really wanted to find a way, I'm sure they could. Arslan, and I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. You don't think the name of our school and course have a big impact? Can we have to follow Google Trends for naming? Okay. So let me know if this is what you mean by your question, but I think you're thinking, looking at popular search results. So looking what people are Googling for, and I see that certain keywords or certain terms are popular, I should probably name my school this topic. And I would actually, yes, you can definitely do that. But where I would see that being more valuable is in your free content to get people into your mini course to grow your list. So using Google Trends and keyword searches to see okay, and hopefully it's related to a topic that you are passionate about and that you want to talk about anyways. But let's say there's a very specific term. You could write a long blog post about it and be like, hey, if you want more information, I have this free course about this. Or you could create videos about it and then lead people to your mini course to get them in. But just by naming your school, I don't think it's going to have that much of an impact on SEO because there's a lot of other factors that help with that. But I'm not going to say it's a bad idea. It's just there's a lot that you could do with that. Okay. So Susan says, thanks, Jess. This was great. Thank you, Susan. Christos says, does weekly logged content work well? You could, but again, that just goes back to, do you have enough content to deliver weekly on a consistent basis? If yes, then you could. Or something that you could do, I've seen people do this, is they have their course, it's pre-recorded, but if you want to get access to all of it in one go, you have to pay the full price. Otherwise, they have a monthly payment, and then every month, or I guess you could do every week, they unlock a new module based off that payment. So that's something else that you could consider. Lisa says, I have to go, but thanks so much for everything. Appreciate it. Bye, everyone. See you in the classroom, she says. Thank you, Lisa. Christine says, more curious, not a big concern. Yeah, it's a very important question. It'd be very surprising if no one thought about that, because it is definitely an important thing. But that's good to hear. That's just more so a question that you had. Pietro says, Cameron is Libra. I know, but what is your star sign? Cancer pieces, I'm guessing. I'm actually Sagittarius. And I don't know enough about star signs to know what that means, other than it's based off of my birthday. So if anyone has a course on that, feel free to send me. Great. Nicole says, can you create multiple courses through the one account? Yes. So you have unlimited courses, unlimited students in your school. Yeah. So I think let's do maybe one more question. It sounds like you guys are good to go. Arslan says, goodbye. Jen says, thank you so much. Christine says, take a course on star signs. I will have to consider it. I feel like everyone around me knows about it. Everyone is just that's such a Libra thing to say. And I'm like, what does that mean? So yeah, I should probably learn more about it. But yeah, I guess on that note, if no one has any more questions, I'll be a Sagittarius and I will just end on that note. So thank you guys so much. And I really also want to end by saying that there's so many people that talk about starting an online business or doing online courses, and so few people actually take the time to sit on a Tuesday afternoon or morning, depending on where you are, to learn about this and to ask questions. So the fact that you are here right now says a lot about you. So on behalf of myself, everyone here at Team Teachable, thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to see what you guys get up to, and I will talk to you soon.